from the Rapid Africa Plan team. And I think it's high time somebody came up with an action talk. We want someone that talks about what to do, what we're going to do, because we need that sense of agency. And our nemesis, the problem that we're having, in my own opinion, in my own analysis, not an academic analysis, but a proactive analysis that says African people ought to be doing something. We have to be running something, we have to be going somewhere. But I want to kind of like give an overview of our state, our space, and our time. And I want to say that we Africans are what I would call as self-made underdogs. We've made ourselves underdogs because we've got a head like everybody else, arms and legs like any other nation, any other people. We are just as much Koreans, Singaporeans, Hong Kongers, Chinese, Western, like Europe and America. We are just as much, 100%. Somebody says, all men are created equal. But why is not all men are not doing action equally together? Why? Because we have, by decision or not, by history, by whatever, we've become a self-made underdogs. You see, colonization, slavery, African situation is the nature of man. It's the nature of the history of the human. The Bible says, that great book says that the heart of man is evil. That is the one standard of humanity from beginning until eternity. That in our default state, we are a greedy people, we are a selfish people. And because of that, slavery, colonization has been the history of man. But the only nation that is stuck with it, the only people, because the nation of Africa does not exist, the only people are the Africans. But every slavery situation, look at the Egyptians, for example. There are many European countries where there was slavery, South American countries where there was slavery, Europe where there was slavery. And I want us to detach ourselves from that focus and focus on what to do. And it's high time somebody has come and says, this is what we're going to do, because that's what it takes, a transformational leader that says, this is what we're going to do, and form a team to do it. Now, why is it today we are like that? There are three key things. Remember, transformation, change, advancement of a nation is all up here. It's a psychological thing. But Africans are not playing here, they are playing here with the hands, because that's what we are trained to do, to mold an economy and a system and a government system that does not serve us and serve other people, and therefore we're living the lie that we are going somewhere. And we're driving the myth that the Commonwealth, our connection with the international community, that's where our salvation is. That's where our power is. Because there's no finance in Africa, and therefore the people that have finance, the people that we detached ourselves from, and we are attaching themselves, and we know that these people, these nations, are taking everything, are keeping us where we are, have contained us for ages. Now, why is it we are stuck? And then The other thing is that the illusion, the lie that we're going somewhere, nothing is happening in Africa. The African Union is doing absolutely nothing. There's no plan, there's no leadership, there's nobody. And the African unity does not exist, and therefore Africa does not exist. We are independent countries that are running their own thing, and we have not come with this idea of making this happen. And so we live in the illusion that something is happening at the African Union, that we are united, that we are together. That's not correct. We have to build Africa. We have to build the unity process. You hear many people say, Africa unite, Africa unite. How? What are we going to do? What are we doing? How is it going to happen? What is the structure of the program? If you said something, who are you telling? Who are you waiting for to do it? Whoever says it creates it. But if it's not clear, then you can't. Half the people that say, Africa unite, Africans, let's do this, let's do this. It's not clear, they don't have clarity. Because clarity turns an idea into a seed, and that seed can take a life of itself. Now here we are, so we have become a wandering people. And the wandering people don't build anything, like in the wilderness. People, the people of Israel were in the wilderness for 40 years. They built nothing because they were confused. Shall we go forward? Shall we stay with Moses? Shall we go back? Why did you bring us here? Did we not have soil for grace over there? There's this confusion. So Africa is confused. They don't know what to do. We need the myth, international community, and the myth, our resources. That the resources are key. That Africa has got resources. So everybody's talking about, we have resources, we have resources. It's only a component of it. It is not the key, it is not the primary, it is not critical, the resources. If we didn't have the resources, China does not have enough resources, all the other countries don't have resources, so they, nevertheless, they did the transformation that they did. Why and how? So the lie that Africa is endowed with the resources and therefore that is the key, but we have had them for so many years and nothing has happened. Have you thought about that? Now, if you want to move Africa forward, either you know it or you don't, because it's complex and you have to follow a process and a system, and the system is standard. The process is the standard, the system is standard. The creation of the way forward is standard. So, but because we have become a wandering nation, a people, not a nation yet, we build nothing, we're confused. In other words, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. If you have a problem, if you're stuck in a state of destitution, if you know what to do, you can fix it. Because you know the end, you know the intended end, and therefore you can start walking towards it. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do? So I say there has to be somebody that says, this is what we're going to do, this is what we can be. I'm saying that Africa can be an advanced nation. We can unite, we can work together under a 40-year program. That's what it takes to build Africa. And that's what I and the team are coming to do. If you really want to see change in Africa, if you want to see the kind of transformation, the modernization as a program with every process, including finance, as a key factor, including containing corruption, including a total strategy, a transformational strategy that just everybody will say, this is it, we're going. We are now moving. You follow the transformational leader. We need somebody. That's how it takes. Every transformation has got a leader. Therefore, our team is the transformational leadership, and we're coming to Africa to do that. We're coming with a vision and a team, and that team is coming with a plan. And we're going to bring alignment. Alignment is what we need, Africa. We are 1,000 people, organizations that talk about I'm a Pan-African, I'm a Pan-African. Where is your organization? Where is your office? Who is your leader? There's nobody. So we need that alignment. And we need a program that structures everything in Africa into one program that we can say, we're going to do this. And we're going to do this project and this project and this project under this institution, then we move forward. When you do this, what are we doing here? We're providing a roadmap. What is the roadmap called? The RAP roadmap, the Rapid Africa Plan. So the RAP roadmap is what we're driving because we need a roadmap in Africa that says, in the sense of agency, direction, alignment, structure, institution. How else can you build a nation without institution? Building the institution and everything that is required to make it happen in relationship, of course, to the existing process. But strategy is what fixes everything, having a vision. So when we do that, we have a roadmap. And that roadmap, we call it the Rapid Africa Plan, the RAP roadmap. And that roadmap, the first thing to do is to build a prototype nation, to apply it into a prototype nation. We have to start somewhere, we have to apply it, we have to tweak it, we have to Africanize it. We have to bring a renaissance to ourselves and sit down and say, what nature, what hand is building the plan? And it must, everything that happens, our designs, our architecture, our ways, the state of our lives must have that African identity. As the Japanese, the South Koreans, the Asians, the Hong Kong, the Chinese, the Europeans, they all have their own identity in everything that we do. So we need that. That's what we're going to do. Going to these countries, going to Zambia, going to Ghana, going to Malawi, going to Kenya, going to Tanzania, going to some West African countries, going to Botswana, build those prototype nations, go in there and show the African leaders that you can have a contact first that multiplies the industrial place 4 or 5 times, but with a means and